What up, YouTube, and all you sexy board fighters? So I have been receiving a lot of requests to do a Prism Dragon deck profile on the Prism Dragon list that I used to get second place for the Philippines Spring Fest, and well, here it is. So if you're just here to use get a deck list, there you go. You're free to use it. But if you win, just send me some money. I'm kidding. Alright, so let's get on with the deck profile real quick. Okay, so the buddy monster I play is Crystal Quintessential Crystal Dragon Atora. I play 5 of the buddy rare version. I heard someone say on Facebook that low rarity is a sin or something like that. That is just absolutely true. I'm just kidding. You can still play if you're low rarity. Okay, so what? Alright. So four copies of the buddy. This card is just amazing because put the top 2 cards of your deck into this card soul and pay 3 gauge. Basically it's a 7/7 with a 2 soul guard, and the most special thing about this card is this card on you, if it's in your center, this card cannot be destroyed by card effects and you cannot be dealt damage by card effects. This is like Esther, just that it's a better version because it applies on both turn, and that's why they call the Atora user a no damage fighter, because when you call this, basically you won't be able to take damage until this monster dies. And trust me, in this deck there is a lot of cards that can help him survive and he won't be dying that easily. Next up, the next best thing would be the trial deck version of the Atora. This card is really amazing. Okay, let's go through the card. Put the top card of your deck into this card soul and pay 2 gauge. If this is in your center, this card cannot be destroyed by card effects during your opponent's turn. So it's a not bad version. You pay 1 less gauge, but it can be destroyed during your turn, and you can take effect damage, which means it's vulnerable to penetrate. And let's say during your turn, your opponent summons ambush by Oni Assassin Ibuki, you still will be destroyed and you still take damage, which is pretty painful. But then nevertheless, this is an amazing card, second to best of the OG Atora. I can't believe the trial actually made such a strong version of Atora, just like its counterpart, but the trial deck version is extremely strong as well. Okay, now the next size 3 I play is Green Crystal Dragon Sheldra. This card is just the one of the best Prism Dragons ever. Put the top card of your deck into this card soul and pay 2 gauge. What it does is, when this card is destroyed, you gain 1 life. So basically, with a soul guard, you're gaining 2 life after it's destroyed. When this card attacks, if you have 7 life or more, destroy a monster on your opponent's field. It has double attack soul guard and it's a 8/5. This is so strong because many of the times your life will not be going below 7, and also if let's say your life will go down below 7, this guy helps you recover, and the next time you summon this card, you can destroy a monster as well. It is like the card from the Zui, the impact monster, that when you attack, destroy a monster. So imagine double attack, each time you attack, destroy a monster. This is as good as attacking 4 times, because attack, destroy. And don't forget the soul guard and life gain ability. Also, the power is very strong because it's a nice 8k. Can hit through the OG Atora, any Atora. 8k is just a very high power. Can hit through almost anything in the game. Okay, the next card is from the Secret Pact, White Crystal Dragon Rising. This card is just so strong because it is a power 1/1/3 monster. When this card enters the field, if you have a size 3 Prism Dragons on your center, draw a card. It's your basic draw mechanism. With also it's like a footer, just 1 critting attack, and you guys will know soon why 1 crit is so important in this deck. Next up, I play 1 copy of Countdown SP. Alright, so this card, whenever it's in your drop zone at the start of your turn, pay 1 life and you can call. So it's a very good card to play in this deck because of the 4k power. Right now in the meta, this card can help you clear butts and also it helps as additional attack. A 1 crit is very important. Mainly 1 crits in this deck are very important because of your special impact over here. Basically during your opponent turn, okay, only cast this during your opponent turn, not your turn. If he has not dealt damage to you and he has 4 life or more, you can deal 4 damage. It's like a gargantuan punisher, cannot be nullified, cannot be reduced. It's so strong, and who would actually want to guard against a 1 crit? So all those 1 crits will go inside, and then when your opponent hits life, 4 life or less, boom, impact, Cristiano shoot. And the next card we play items. This is a very strong item. Okay, let's go through. Pay 1 gauge. The ability of your Prism dragons on your center cannot be nullified. Means if you are facing up against what's the legend monster that helps you clear? Oberon. If you're facing up against Oberon, you still will be able to soul guard, and it gives your center monster +2/+2 power and defense. This ability cannot be nullified. At the end of the battle, the Prism Dragon monster on your field was attacked. If you have a Prism Dragon monster on your center, deal 1 damage to your opponent. This is just the best card because basically makes your Atara a 9/9 monster. In the mirror match, this is very important because if your opponent does not have the soccer boots, he will not be able to touch your Atara. And also it's very strong because basically your monster has soul guard, and every time your monster dies, your opponent will be taking that 1 damage reduced by 1/1/1. You know, at the end of the day, he'll be facing a soccer ball to his face. It's just so great. So a lot of people have been running cards like destroy items just to stop this card. We have counters in this deck for that. I'll go through that later. Next card we have is Starjack Boost from HEB04. This card just works so well with this deck because you may only cast this card if your life is 7 or more. Put the top card of your deck into the gauge and draw 1 card. You can only use this once per turn, so many of the times your life would be at either 7 or more because your monster in the center will be tanking for you, and you use this. It's a free charge and draw that is just so strong, so powerful. We didn't expect that this card will be used in this deck, but it's a really old card and it works really well with this deck. Also, if you are at sometimes you are at 6 life, you know, you buddy call, you can use this card. And the next card we have is a double rare from this set. It's called Enhancement. Put the top card of your deck into a gauge, and if you have a size 3 Prism Dragon monster in your center, draw a card. It can only be used once per turn, so just like Starjack Boost, is a free charge and draw. So in this deck, charge gauge is very important because your Atara costs a hefty 3 gauge. The other size 3s cost about 2 gauge. If you are running out of gauge, you can't call your size 3s, so it's always good to have a lot of gauge. Also, your impact and other cards would be using gauge as well. And this card, don't forget that you can use this card even if you do not have a monster in your center. You can still gauge 1 and call Atara. Alright, next card is the MVP of my deck, which is Mystery Setting. Basically, you can cross-knife this into your monster, put it into a soul of a monster, and if it's in the soul, this card cannot be put to the drop zone by your opponent card effects. Means Loki or remove or whatever soul removal cannot. This is a counter to it. And another amazing fact is when the Prism Dragons with this card in its soul is being attacked, put the top card of your deck into the gauge. This ability only activates once per turn. It does not say name ability, so if you have 2 of this in the soul, basically you can charge 2. This is just really amazing because, like I said, it helps to boost the longevitiveness of your Atara, and also it cannot be removed by soul. It's a charge 1. It's just everything that the deck needs. Next card, we have 4 copies of your basic negate Radiant Shield. This is like a ghetto shield because pay 1 gauge, nullify the attack and deal 1 damage to your opponent. You can only cast this card if you have a Prism monster in your center is being attacked. So basically, if they try to harm your monsters, nullify it, deal 1 damage, soccer boots, deal another damage. That is as good as dealing 2 damage. Amazing card. Next card we have, it's a promo from the latest set. It's called Buff Grinder. Now trust me, this card is a must play for in any Atora deck because it is just so amazing. You can only cast this card if you have a size 3 Prism Dragon monster on your center. Counter, choose one of the following. Counter, man. For this turn, all Prism Dragons monster on your field gets power 2000 and defense 2000. So it's a good offensive and defensive deck. And do know that this card lasts for the entire turn. So if your monster tries to hit your Atora, use this card and they will cry because it is really hard to beat through the already very powerful 9k defense with the boots, and with this is basically 11,000 for the entire turn. They will basically make them skip the entire turn. And also the secondary effect is destroy a spell on your opponent field. So one thing that Atora really fears is if all his abilities is nullified by stars, you know. So one counter to face stars is destroy their set spell. Basically your effects all come back to life, and they'll be having a really hard time because stars monster have very low power. And do mind that this is a counter, so if you play it right, your opponent cannot react to this card. Oh my god, that was my trophy. Okay, the next card is Brush Upper Foil. Brush Upper. Okay, you may only cast this card if there is a Prism Dragon monster on your center. Choose a Prism Dragon on your field, and for this turn, the next time that card was destroyed, that card remains on the field. And if you have 6 life or more, put the top card of your deck into a gauge. This is just so amazing. It was given by a very good friend of mine that I met in the Philippines. Thank you so much. Basically this card just helps you prevent anything on your field to be destroyed, including it says a Prism Dragon. So do know that your boots is a Prism Dragon. It can remain this on the field, and you can also gauge one. So basically a lot of things helps you to gauge one. Is really amazing. And the next card is one of the very important card in my deck that I think many people does not play, basically because it might not be such a great of a plus considering the cost. Alright, so you may only cast this card if you have a Prism Dragon in your center. Pay 2 gauge and draw 2 cards. Because my deck runs so many gauge adder, you literally have so much gauge that you can cast this and have the additional plus in your hand. It would be much better if it was a gauge 1 cost, but I think that will make it too broken because you have so many gauge. And the next and the final card we play is the very amazing the Impact for Cristiano Shoot. This card is just so strong because you know, you watch the anime, every time what's his name, Kinata or something, he casts a final phase, he'll be using this card against his opponent, and it helps to end games so many of the times. You may only cast this card during your opponent's final phase, and if you do not take damage during your opponent's turn, and if you have a Prism Dragon in your center and your opponents have 4 life or less. Well, that is very easy to achieve, considering that number 1, your Prism Dragon hardly dies because of his high defense, Soul Guard. Number 2, he has 4 life or less, considering you ping him for so many damage with your 1 crits effect damage from your boots as well, and continuously attacking his 1 crits and your 2 crits, he'll be very fast down to 4 life. And also you do not take any damage. Man, come on, Prism Dragons does not take any damage. That's why we call us the 0 damage fighter. That is so amazing. As with your buddy out, is GG, man. Okay, so counter, deal 4 damage to your opponent. This card cannot be nullified, and the damage cannot be reduced. If your opponent's life would become 0 by this card, it cannot be changed by your opponent card. So that means it cannot use Dre or any things that help him revive up to give him more life. And basically once you cast this card, is GG. So next I'll be going through what are the possible scenarios and the best game plan that you want to have on your field. Now I'll just briefly show you guys how to play this deck and what are the things you want to take note when playing this deck. Okay, so for example, we will draw 6 first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now let's look at our hand. Okay, nice. We have a okay, obviously this is all planned out, but just a scenario for sake wise. Okay, let's say your opponent gives you the first blow. Okay, take it. It's painful. 2 damage, and then comes to your turn. So draw. Wow, your hand seems pretty good, and I do not know what to charge. Okay, so maybe at this point of time I will charge maybe one of my charge and draw, because I have both of them, and I will draw. Nice, I have mystery setting, so I will go ahead and do a buddy call, pay 3 gauge, soul guard 2. Oh, okay, so it's very, very good if you are able to get this in a soul by calling. It's really lucky, and it's Atora basically has a higher chance for that to go into soul because it puts 2 cards instead of 1. Yeah. Okay, that was not planned out. And next I will cast Starjack Boost. Alright, charge and draw. So this deck basically I play 8 charge and draw. It makes your deck much smaller for you to get the cards you need, because it's just like basically refilling your cards but giving you more gauge at the same time. So next we will call the size 0. This card helps you draw 1 if you have a monster in the center. Right, I was already buddy called. So draw, and you have another one. Nice. Okay, next up, because this is your main buddy monster, you want to have as much, you want it to not die so fast. So you would put 2 mystery setting, basically let him survive as much as possible, so you would not take any damage at all. And then you would equip your boots to give him even more defense. Then you go in and double attack and attack. And the next turn probably he would try to kill it. So mystery setting effect, remember I said it's not a name effect, so you can use it more than once. You'll be able to charge 3. So always remove the soul that is not a mystery setting, because a mystery setting actually helps you guard for Loki and soul removal. But do take note that if you take too much, put too much gauge, you might actually deck out. Alright, and maybe he can attack it once or more. One more time. Okay, and then it's my turn again. Stand and draw. So do take note, when he attacks, he will have to take 1 damage, and it brings him closer to his death. So, you know, sometimes you might want to keep a backup monster just in case he manages to clear your monster. So I have quite a lot of gauge. I will charge this and draw. Okay, you see, so I play so many of these. Charge and draw is basically like free. You get a charge and draw. Next, I will cast Dispersion. Help me plus. I will want to draw into my defensive cards to let my monster survive even longer. Let's hope I draw into some defensive. Nice, I drew into 1 defensive card. Brush Upper. So this one prevents your monster or your boots by being destroyed. Okay, so next, Atora double attack, goes in for the attack, and then at this point of time I believe his life would be pretty low, so if you have the chance, remember to use your final phase. And next up, he will try to clear it again. 2 soul, let's say he cleared 2. If he managed to kill it another time with a 9k defense, that's not very easy. You can always guard, and you can charge 1. Do take note that I have not taken a single damage yet. Stand and draw. I have 2 impacts, so charge and draw. And another backup, so just in case he kills this, or you want to replace him again for even more defense, you can always do that. If you want to clear his monsters fast, you can use this. And look at the amount of gauge I have. So this is just a rough idea of how you can play your Prism Dragons in general, Prism Dragons are strong against I would say any deck except for, let's say, Zui, because Zui are able to remove soul, penetrate, and they have many attacks. So Prism Dragon might face difficulty against that. Other than Zui, maybe yep, I guess Zui, and also is good against decks like Oni Assassins, because Oni Assassins do have quite low power, and also because of Atora not being able to be destroyed by effects, Ibuki cannot destroy him, and it just helps to ward them out a lot. Also is good against decks like maybe Thunder Empire, because they will have to Thunder Empire is depending, it's a 50-50, because if they're able to clear you really fast as well, it's quite bad. And generally is a very strong deck. Alright, I've come to the end of the video. Do comment, like, subscribe if you liked it, because it really helps me, motivates me to do more deck profiles and more videos like this. Also, I want to give a shout out to Buddy Mart, because without them I would not be able to complete my deck. I will put a link around here or in the description below. Basically, they have the best they have everything you need to play buddy fight, singles to SPs to buddy rare, and even fully built deck. Yes, there is Prism decks, fully built Thunder Empire decks, everything you need. And also they have merchandise as well, a lot of Japanese exclusive sleeves, maybe even playmats. Do check them out, as they are really amazing. And once again, guys, thank you so much for joining me in this amazing Prism Dragon deck profile, and I hope you guys had fun, and well, keep on buddy fighting.